Autoline on the Road from the North American International Auto Show in Detroit is brought to you by our signature sponsor, Continental Structural Plastics, the superheroes of vehicle lightweighting, and also by Rosa, excellence in mechatronics, Hella, technology with vision, and by Ram Truck, built to serve.
Lietaert is the president of the Hella Corporate Center, and you've got a Cadillac CT6 here, but you got some stuff on it that you can't get from Cadillac, at least not yet.
That's correct, that's correct. Yeah, one of the things that we're showing, John, is our shake sensor that we can kind of show here. And this is basically a vibratory sensing device that we have on vehicle where you can see that's detecting all the minute vibrations that we have in the vehicle. And there's a few different applications that can be utilized for based upon its capability set. The first one that goes into production is a road condition sensor. We actually have the sensors mounted into the wheel well, and then they're picking up basically the only amount of water droplets coming off of the wheel and then hitting the inside of the wheel housing. So detecting how much water spray is coming from that and detecting how much water is present on the road. And the way that's utilized in vehicle is that it can give an indication that basically you should slow down, a warning mechanism like that, or even doing some type of throttle control to take away the ability of a person to over accelerate in that condition.
So you can take that sensor input and retune the calibration of the car on the fly.
Yeah, that's correct. It's just using the information that's available to say, now that we know the water's present, what do we do with it?
And you're just using this example here. I mean, in production, you're not going to have lights lighting up. You just want to be able to show that it's picking up little vibration.
Just a demonstration in that regard. And that's one of the other things you can see, though, because if you mount into the vehicle here, there are different applications, like thinking about the aspect of a ride-hailing or ride-sharing situation where maybe multiple people are using the same vehicle on a given day. At one point, someone notices there's damage on the vehicle and you don't know who's responsible. Of course, no one admits to it, but you can go back and actually look at a data log to say, okay, when did the collision happen? Because we're picking up very small, minute aspects of those collisions that can occur, and detecting that and then tracking that. And it can also be used as part of an autonomous vehicle application where actually, we're typically sensing through our radar, LiDAR, that you may have a collision, but once it occurs, it's important to know exactly where the collision is occurring and to what extent, especially if it's a pedestrian or something lighter. So we can detect where it's happening. You can do certain aspects of controls with the vehicle in order to assist that based upon having that knowledge available.
So what you're saying, if somebody banged into your car in a shopping center, the sensor would pick it up, maybe the camera could even capture who's doing it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I like that idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve, you always have a big bag of tricks of technology. What else is Hella showing here at the Detroit Auto Show?
Well, we're working on a few different aspects. So one piece that's probably important to look at is what we're doing to support e-mobility. So it's important to think about with electric vehicles, it's not just about the power packs and the drive and the electric drives, but also all the supporting elements that provide that in the vehicle. So we look at active cooling aspects for the cell packs and drive modules, and we even talk about in the time frame before the EVs are heavily prevalent in the industry, we still want to work on the efficiency of the vehicles. So we do a lot still like in the mild hybrid space. So supporting 48 and 12 volt architectures and doing things like dual voltage battery management, where we look at taking one battery that can support both the 48 and 12 volt architectures and doing all the active controls electronically in terms of number one, utilizing anything that the charging capability of the cells in a very structured and efficient way, but also looking at how you can deliver the best power coming from either one of the two voltage networks themselves.
I love hearing this sort of thing because I think a lot of people don't really pick up on the fact that suppliers like you guys do so much of the development for electric cars. It's not all the car companies just doing it all in-house.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we've hit on two big ones. Anything else that we should talk about?
Yeah, I think another interesting aspect for autonomous vehicles is really the environmental sensing. So as you may know, we're a market leader for 24 gigahertz radar, and we continue to extend that portfolio to bring in, of course, 77 gigahertz radar, which with the higher frequency, it allows for several different things. One is better range resolution and better object discrimination. So when you're looking at trying to detect exactly what is the object that I'm recognizing, is it a trash can or a person, which may be driving a different way that you control the vehicle, it's highly important to be able to detect that. So going to the higher frequency radar allows for that. And you can see that's kind of somewhere where we look at taking the expertise of what we have in terms of the aspects of doing all the raw data analysis and signal processing and data filtering to be able to drive the application, doing the hardware efficiently itself, and then doing all the complex aspects of the in-vehicle integration. So vehicle packaging, which is quite important to find a way that with these environmental sensors, the way in which you place in a vehicle will dictate how well they perform. So if you look at that expertise, we also look at trying to do things where we utilize that capability and that software end that I mentioned to begin with, where we actually don't provide a product, a physical piece of hardware, but we sell all of that software for that, for image-based controls for camera systems to do the object classification and detection and diagnostic controls, et cetera, that we sell to other suppliers that integrate into cameras. And then we have cases where we're at the other end of the spectrum, where we look at utilization of technology coming from, let's say, startups, or we have, you may have seen a release that we have, we're working with AI, who has a industry-leading format for LiDAR combined with camera. And we look at being potentially a partner to help them industrialize that product, bring it into automotive grade, and to deal with all those in-vehicle packaging topics that we discussed earlier. So trying to see, taking those skill sets and see whatever case we can in order, utilize those skills in order to bring the best features into vehicle so that we can really drive forward all these, introduction of these systems into the vehicle.
The amazing part of hearing you talk about all this is a company that started out making headlamps.
Yes.
And so it's so amazing to see the evolution, not just in the technology, but at Hella as well.
Yeah.
Steve, thanks for your
Thanks a
time.
lot, John.
Much appreciated.
Thank you
very
very much.
interesting. Yeah.
Thank you.